support in the same breath, and I mean this to be clear because I know how passionate and I see how passionate you are about this, and I understand that yes, there needs to be a ceasefire, and yes, there needs to be all the hostages released. I am a state assembly member. I represent a very diverse district of people of all backgrounds, people who are very close to this issue and people who are oceans away from it. The foreign policy of the United States of America, why I haven't signed on to very specific statements of what the U.S. Congress should do or what President Biden and Secretary of State Tony Blinken should do, is unfortunately because as all world situations change daily, and as the Congress may make decisions one way or the other, I would feel the need to continually comment. And so I make the clear comment. I believe there should be a ceasefire. I believe the hostages should be released. And I unfortunately believe that both of those have to happen at the same time. I don't think that those unfortunately are unlinked. And so thank you for the question. And I think it's very important. I do agree with you also that it was folks, not just here in New York, but around the world, who have helped solve issues, whether it be apartheid in South Africa, whether it be our sins of our own country, whether it be slavery or Jim Crow. And of course, there are deep, grave injustices throughout the world that citizens from around the world have helped to address. But that's where I've stood and stand, and I've made clear, and you can look back in the record on that. And so that's where
Will you sign on the Not on Our Dime campaign? You haven't answered our question.
I'm happy to look at it again. I have not chosen to sign on to that.
And why not?
So the reason I have not is, and I again want to be very clear that I'm a member of the New York State Assembly.
This was proposed by your assembly member, Zorana Namdani.
Conversation.
But if I can, I'm happy to answer the question. I'm just trying to, because not everyone I'm sure is familiar exactly with what that bill is. I don't know if across the board boycotting or divesting in Israeli businesses is appropriate. I do believe that Israel has a right to exist, and I understand that Not on Their Dime believes that it can thread the needle, that it's just businesses that operate in the West Bank. I don't know if that is actually possible. I think that, one of the things, I'm not an expert in foreign policy, I am an attorney. One of the first things they teach you in law school in America in your first year is this term that they coined in the U.S. Constitution called the stream of commerce, and how it affects everything. I don't know if a divestment movement just aimed at the West Bank is actually possible, and so that's why I haven't signed on. However, I'm happy to sit down with you, go over legislation again, but I'm familiar with it. I have yet to sign on to it, but happy to talk to you again about it.
I just want to enter this situation because this is a very, very like a wider subject. Even whole night we talk, there will be no like a solution. So as a politician, when someone says it's not you only, is a state politician, is a federal politician, is a local politician, when you try to advocacy, always say Israel have right to resist. That one is very, very heartbreaking for us because more than 65 years occupations and stateless and homeless, massacre, killing now is a genocide. And genocide with our money. Genocide with our